I want to tell you about how you can never feel bad for doing any wrong or not being perfect in your goal progress or progress towards your goal. So, I want to talk about having an error margin, right? So, no matter what you're doing, whether it's sticking to a diet, uh, trying to work really hard and push yourself, hit some goals, whatever it is you're trying to do, instead of trying to be perfect all the time and just proceeding as if like this is the new way you do things, this is the new you, it might be a lot more healthy. And this is how I manage to retain my goals over and over and over, day after day, is considering that you have a margin of error. Now, your margin of error most of the time is super small, if not zero. But when you hit that and you do make a mistake, be like, oh yeah, that's just the error margin. That is where I can falter, and it's okay. It's not going to really make a big difference because it's meant that to be there, and it's designed to be there in your life as a bleed margin or a way that you can go over and have it acceptable. So you don't actually completely break things. It's just going forward. You have this room for for failure, whatever you want to call it, but it's not a failure. Room for error, not for failure. And I just really wanted to bring up this idea. So let's just take an example of today. I had a giant meal, and it wasn't the healthiest meal, but it wasn't terrible either. Now, it was a lot of calories in one sitting. I must have consumed about 1,100 calories all at once. And, it's like fine because of the error margin. Now, I'm still under my caloric intake numbers for the day, but it's just like it was way more than I like to have by this hour in the day. But most of the days I'm pretty good. Most of the days I keep it in check. So for this is just it's not even a falter. It's just part of the plan. It's totally acceptable. And to look at the error as not a fault or anything or failure, it's just kind of accepted and expected, is a new way of thinking about it. It's not just being like, oh, well, you can mess up sometimes and it's not a big deal. I'm not saying that at all. That would be missing the point. What I'm saying is the failure is part of it. It's designed to be there. It's kind of like a refeed day if you do look into intermittent fasting, but I'm thinking about it a little twist on it because it's a mindset thing where it's like, it's hard for me to articulate what the difference is, but your approach to the margin of error is more welcomed and accepted and understood. Like, you just never ever beat on yourself for messing up, I guess. Because you're like, oh yeah, well, that's all right because I've got this extra because I've been so good all along and all that. And it doesn't really mess it up. And it's not like as big of a margin as, say, you could have a cheat meal. A cheat meal would be going beyond the size of an error margin that I'm talking about. But that's basically it for today. I hope that helps you stay in line and keep on your goals day after day after day. And just remember, you have a margin for error for everything. It is totally good, and you're probably going to go into there. It's just really hard to stay inside the lines a lot of times. All right. Cheers.